It's all right. We're live and just in time.
I know we're live.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Perfect timing, Richie. Because we are officially live with another episode of the Lonely Marks on not Tuesday. It's Thursday.
No, it's actually Thursday because I had to work today. It's usually my day off. I know what the fuck day it is today. God damn it!
Whoa, you sound.
I'm tired.
I feel you. I am also tired, but it's not 10 o'clock where I'm at, so
yeah,
you're probably a little more tired.
It's all good.
But we're here talking some wrestling, talking some news, talking some ECW, talking some AEW, just talking all of it. And I am joined, as always, by these two lovely people and JPO, who might be lovely, but we'll see eventually. But Austin, how's it going?
Hey, no, what's up? I've been a little out of the loop on what's going on in the television programs with like AEW and WWE the last couple of weeks, but I'm sure you guys will catch me up. But we'll get caught up here and talk some stuff. Not much happened this past week. It was a pretty slow week for news.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk.
Yeah.
And speaking of stuff, how's it going, Richie?
Yeah, good. I am the stuff, and I going good. I may or may not have been late because I was finishing watching the show. There was a couple of minutes left. I was like,
listen, I watched it at least 2 hours ago. Okay, at least.
I may have fallen asleep watching it last night and had to finish it today. Speaking of falling asleep, at JPO, how's it going?
We didn't say right now. We meant like a couple hours from now.
Yeah, towards the end of the stream.
Yes.
But yeah, we will be talking an episode of ECW Hardcore TV. Talking some AEW WrestleDream, but before that,
it's a weird show, by the way. We'll get to it, but a weird episode of television. Show, yeah. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. I got my notes.
But first, the news. So yeah, nothing major happened within the last week. I think just some some wrestlers got released from their contracts. But other than that, it's been a quiet week. No, we would have talked about this last week if we went live on a Thursday, but we went live on a Tuesday, and Jordan, come back. So yeah, no, it was a number of how long would you have stayed if I didn't say anything? Would you have stayed the entire show?
I'll stay backstage. I still want to hear the show, but I would have been quiet.
Okay, well, in that case, no. Well, if he's going to do that, he can just go backstage and think about what he did.
He goes in the corner.
Sit in the
corner. But yeah, no, I should have been ready with a list. But yeah, a number of wrestlers got released on what can be known as Black Thursday, not to be confused with Black Friday, which happens in about a month and a half. 2 months.
I've got a list if you need one. I can.
So why don't you just go ahead and run down
one? I have one right here if you'd like.
All right, why don't you just go?
We'll go one by one.
I got visual representation though.
Oh, that might be better.
Yeah, visual representation of people who are let go.
Yeah.
Let's relish in their profile pictures and how they used to be happy.
One more
used to be employed before they leave. Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Mustafa Ali, who was supposed to get an NXT North American title opportunity, but now that might not be happening.
It's not. Trick Williams getting the title show.
Yeah, part of me wonders if he asked, it wouldn't be outside.
It has been reported that he's asked before, and that this might have been him still responding from him asking again. Because unlike everyone else, he at least had something going. But this isn't the first time they've been like, "Oh, we don't give a shit if it's NXT. We'll just stop you, even though you're in the middle of a story."
Yeah. There's. I think there's also a precedent set where like the maybe the heads up WWE and heads up at NXT don't communicate sometimes, and just like we'll just release whoever, and then the NXT people are like, what? And, okay, we're using them, and then there's been that case before too. So I don't know, because like Mustafa Ali was featured pretty regularly on NXT television, and he was getting a North American title shot. He is getting used, probably better than he had been for quite a while. So I think he'll be all right. I could see him. I could see I think he could fit in an Impact. I reckon he'll be a good Impact.
Future world champion in Impact.
He's one of the few talents. Obviously, you don't want to boatload AEW as the WWE dumping ground, but he's one of the few talents that I think actually could soar in AEW. Impact would be great. I mean, again, just think of anybody: him versus Mike Bailey, him versus Alex Shelley, him versus Josh Alexander. The matches are there, and I think he's talented enough and over enough to where I think he could be possibly AEW bound as well. I mean, let's not forget this guy almost had the Kofi Kingston push from a few years ago. He was the one in line for a world title shot with Daniel Bryan, got a concussion, they had a pivot, and that's one of those great what ifs. This guy would have at very least been a WrestleMania title contender, if not champion, if not repeated contender champion, you go. No, I was going to say too, the other thing that always comes to mind too is the absolutely failed Retribution, which was not on themselves. Retribution main evented Raws and SmackDowns and pay-per-views with the angle, and then by the time they're like, here who it is, and then they jobbed them. They have 0 pay-per-view wins. They lost most Raw matches, and then it was over with. No one's fault. Dijakovic still having good matches on NXT. Shane Thorne has gone back to Japan and Impact and does good stuff over there. I think Mustafa is one of the couple on the list where I would look at him if I was AEW, because I think there's a lot of untapped potential. And if not Impact, if not New Japan, if not whoever.
Not to forget, he's also the SmackDown hacker. Remember when they dropped that angle?
Another just failed stop, and then they kind of weekly mentioned that, it was him during Retribution. Move on.
Also, we should mention too, he was meant to be the Money in the Bank winner, and then they pulled the rug from under him without letting him know until Brock Lesnar walked through the curtain and go, "Hey, actually, Brock's winning this match."
Which is one of the top 5 matches that pissed me off because even if it wasn't him winning it, anyone but just Brock at the last second would have been fine.
He legit was meant. He was told he was winning it, when he was in the match, and then the ref had to tell him, "No, Brock's winning."
No, you guys didn't like Boombox Brock?
I did, but that's not the point.
One funny joke doesn't equal a fuck you in the pay-per-view. No.
This is coming from the comedian.
No, but well, then this is wrestling, though. We got to put the jokes aside. I don't know why I went Southern.
Yeah, where are we going?
Why'd you go blue collar comedy tour?
You might be a wrestling fan if Brock Lesnar.
I believe that if you steal somebody's money in the bank briefcase,
you might be Brock Lesnar.
You might be Brock Lesnar.
Here's your sign. You guys mentioned AEW. I'm just saying, if by the time their no compete clause is up, if Rey Fenix is still your international champion and he holds an open challenge,
bro, him versus Darby, come on, him versus Ricky Starks, it's
him versus Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson.
I mean,
I feel that would be a dope match, would it not be?
It would be. Let's finally get it.
I mean, I feel like they're probably just going to put it back on. The international title back on John Moxley, considering he was meant to lose it in the first place. But
there's a good chance of that for sure.
Yeah, because it'll be interesting to see how long he's out. Maybe it was all work, and he's like, I really want my vacation. I just want my vacation.
By the way, I don't know if we're going to talk about this, but this dude's cursed in the sense that, apparently the original plan was at WrestleDream that John Moxley is going to defend against Tom Lawler. Tom Lawler's cursed. He was meant to fight.
Poor dude is technically not debuted. Yeah,
he was meant to wrestle Adam Cole, and if he was scheduled to wrestle Adam Cole this time, he wouldn't be able to do it either because Adam Cole. Yeah, we'll get to that. It's like, damn it. It's a bit of a jinx, but anyway.
So Mustafa Ali, Pez, you got any thoughts?
Again, some of these I'm not gonna have a whole lot of thoughts, only because again I don't watch a lot of the stuff week to week, so I don't know like what they were up to or what they were doing lately. I do know a couple of these guys were probably have not been on TV a lot lately, so it's not that surprising. But yeah, I mean Ali's a talented dude. I mean used to see him. Wasn't he on 205 Live a lot for like a while?
I mean, he had the cruiserweight title. That's kind of his debut as the tournament and whatnot. Good matches with Buddy Murphy on pay-per-view as well, back when they were trying to push the brand.
Yeah, he'll show up on Impact as Ali.
Yeah. Probably his most like high-profile match recently was against Gunther, which it was a decent match.
It was a great match.
Yeah, him and Gunther fought Night of the Champions. And then last time before that was him and Theory at Hell in a Cell 2022. Yeah. And then, like I said, he was doing stuff for NXT recently. He's one of those guys that they had kind of, you could say, brought down, but I don't mind it when they're having good matches, and I'm sure.
Well, and if they're a little more high profile there, because they've got a bigger profile from the main roster, that's not that big, like that bad. It gives fresh matchups and stuff like that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So, who's next? Emma.
This one was really sad just because literally I think it's 40 minutes. Emma posted on Twitter, "Oh my God, they're coming to Australia. Dream come true. I'm so excited."
Well, never
40
mind.
minutes later, never mind. I've been released. So what a fucking turnaround that was for her.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber's coming to Perth, which I'm trying to go.
Yeah, she's born in Melbourne.
I did look it up, Richie. That's on the other side of the country, is it?
I know. I'm trying to get to
like the literal opposite side of the country.
It's going to be a logistical thing. I don't know why a lot of things come to Perth. UFC went to Perth recently. I'm like, Perth is boring, but anyway, maybe that's why they boring.
This is,
so everybody in the whole city will go because there's nothing else to do in Perth. Is that what you're saying?
They look at quokkas, if you heard of them, and those weird animals. Anyway, but yeah, I feel bad for Emma or Tennille Dashwood. I think she's been released by WWE like 3 times now, including like one time she got released.
Oh yeah, that's like she stole maybe. Yeah, that's I forgot about the first firing.
She got released for a day because they thought she shoplifted and she didn't, and then so they quickly rectified her mistake. Yeah, but yeah, and then I don't know, it was weird. I was happy when they brought back all these people that they released, but then they brought back Emma. They did fucking nothing with her.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a bit of her history for the last little bit. Not even a year she made it in this last run. Her first match would be losing to the champion Ronda Rousey, which is not the worst way to be, but not the best either. Like you want to kind of start off with maybe a couple wins. I don't hate her fighting the champion, maybe pushing her to the limit. It's not quite the limit. It's a 7-minute match, but still maybe not the best way to debut. And like I said, that's late October, so not even a full month. She was back, and outside of a Rumble appearance, 0 pay-per-view matches for Emma on this last run. She was last seen losing to Shayna in a squash match back in July. July is the last time we saw her on TV.
Yeah. And I mean I like she's talented. I like her. I mean obviously I liked her the comedy run, but I like her serious run too. I like her running I liked her running Impact, which she had a tag team with. Was it Madison Rain?
Yeah, that is who she held the tag titles with. You can hear that question on a recent Wrestling Trivia.
Okay, cool.
Plugs are at the end.
She played.
Yeah, so she's quite talented, and yeah, I honestly think that my money is on the. I mean, she's made one appearance for AEW and one of their Battle Royals, but I think my money's on the fact that she'll probably just go back. She might just go back to Impact, in my opinion.
Yeah, Impact. She's a big. She does a lot of modeling. I've seen even currently with WWE, she did a lot of modeling. So yeah, another one that I think Impact would make a lot of sense. Maybe WWE or AEW down the line. Maybe a 4th WWE run. Who knows?
4th time is a charm.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't really have any major thoughts. I mean, if she was featured more on TV, maybe, but yeah, kind of a waste of potential, I think, because I think she's really good, and just heartbreaking that it's 40 minutes after it was announced that Elimination Chamber was in Australia.
After plugging them, you're so excited for your home country.
Yeah. So, Pez, any thoughts on Emma? All right.
Good review. And her husband. Also also another little sad thing. They're not married yet. They're gonna have their wedding soon.
Oh, here's to you.
Cool.
The couple that gets
enough,
released together stays together.
That's right.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, I actually thought to me was one of the more surprising ones. Because again, I think a lot of times you kind of go by who's been on TV. Like Emma sadly makes sense in the sense of you could tell obviously Vince or who's ever in charge is not really doing anything with her, hasn't for the full year. But like this guy on the other hand, like I mean, there was moments here. I mean, here's a shot of him holding that Andre Battle Royal. He had pay-per-view singles matches back when they were doing the brand splits, and it was him and Baron Corbin getting these prime singles matches here. And they had just kind of turned him heel. Seemed like that was the most recent thing they were doing with him and Emma, was maybe teasing a heel run, like she was kind of in his ear. But even that, again, never got off the starting grounds here. He was on TV this month, quote. He lost to Bronson Reed on Main Event, which is where he's been for a while now. Has been on main TV in a major match. Got squashed by Shinsuke back in April on SmackDown. Hey, look, well, what a coincidence here. The last singles match on TV is a squash. Sometimes that might be a sign. And again, we're going back to April that he's had a one-on-one TV match.
Was his last big feud the Baron Corbin stuff, pretty much?
Pretty
yeah,
much.
I mean, as an actual feud, yeah, like I said, though, that actually had like pay-per-view singles matches,
Right.
And he was part of the Clash of the Castle kickoff. I guess that's not too big, but Money in the Bank. Well, last year, Money in the Bank participant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's a decent steep fall. And then again in 2022, at both Backlash and Hell in a Cell, he had back-to-back wins actually against Corbin, including a DQ match at Hell in a Cell.
And he had didn't he have a match with like Drew McIntyre where he almost broke his neck?
Yeah.
That could be maybe. Well, yeah, but then he went on to have that singles feud, so I guess that probably didn't hurt him too much because, like I said, that's just somebody that I would say at least in the last year was or a year and a half, I guess you could say, was in pay-per-view matches. But I guess they finally realized all right, maybe we tried a couple times, didn't work. They're done trying.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean. I thought they realized with Baron Corbin that wasn't working, so they put him in NXT. They could have sent Riddick Moss to NXT. Why not?
No, because at the same time, that's where he's been for years. Like, you're gonna send him back to NXT again? Like, I don't know. I'm not like overly, but I'm not overly like surprised, I guess. But apparently, he was like from what I'm reading, like Riddick Moss was like when back when. Briefly when Paul Heyman was brought in as like the writer for SmackDown, he was really high on Riddick Moss, but other people kind of were like, eh. But so when obviously he didn't have much power, it's like, okay, well, yeah, it was like, I don't think they saw much in him, so he kind of just slipped down the card. You could probably kind of get the sense, given that he's been signed to WWE since like 2014. He didn't even do much on NXT before he got called up. He was in like a tag team with like Tino Sabatelli, if you remember that. I think I kind of always thought he was maybe a guy that was kind of primed for the main roster in a weird way, but yeah. Again, I could see. Apparently, I think his name is Mike Rallis. I think he's going to go by his real name in the Indies. He's a guy like I don't know. I could see him maybe showing up in maybe NWA or something like that. There's not like a huge name. I could see him showing up. I wouldn't be surprised if him and Emma sold themselves as a package, kind of like Cardona and Green in the past. Where I definitely could see. I honestly could see him having an impact run too. I mean,
I could see him.
I don't think he was that bad. I didn't necessarily love him in the ring, but I didn't think he was that bad. So
I could see him going in.
I think that could have been a good mid-card guy.
Yeah, I think the Madcap Moss thing kind of hurt him a bit because it was a really bad gimmick. So.
Yeah, they're trying to turn him face, but
the pop he got when he turned on Corbin was pretty good. I don't know if that was because he did it or because they just dislike Corbin.
Yeah,
but the pop was still there. So. Yeah. Madcap Moss, Austin.
Yeah. Aaliyah.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Poor Aaliyah.
And it's not her fault.
The singer?
We're like, eh.
She worked for WWE?
Oh, you made the same joke Cornette did.
I I don't know who this
like,
is.
You mean
I don't
the
know who this is,
vampire
brother.
from 2001? No. Brian
Ja
was like, no,
Rule?
she died in an airplane.
Oh.
No, Aaliyah also, like, outside of one Rumble, no pay-per-view matches here. I think her claim to fame was one, I believe, puking right after her match, I think is something she did. And then
She's gonna puke.
She does have.
She is a Guinness World Record holder.
Exactly. That's kind of her claim to fame is, I think, her 3-second win over Natalya on SmackDown, I think, does hold like a record of some sort. So that's kind of cool. And she did have, I mean, up until literally a couple of weeks ago, I think she was a replacement. Or her and Raquel Rodriguez. Oh, well, no, they were champs. They were straight up champs, right?
For 2 weeks.
Yeah, they were straight up champs in August and then lost the titles in September. So actually, yeah, it's a brief run with 0 televised defenses, it looks like. But still, that's kind of surprising that like she goes from having technically a title in September to being released in September. So a little bit surprising there as well. But I guess not too surprised. She's someone that kind of would take dips here and there. I feel like there'd be months where you hadn't seen her. Another person didn't do too much at NXT. She made her televised debut in August of 2021. So it's only been about 2 years, but she was in NXT for a little while before that.
Yeah, I feel like I feel bad for her because like I think she was obviously really enthusiastic and really wanted to learn. Like she was featured quite prominently on that Breaking Ground documentary that they did a few years ago.
Yeah, I know she's been heard a couple times. Yeah, she's been on the book since 2015.
So yeah, and like she was on in NXT briefly as I think her name's like Newt or something. It was some interesting name, but like yeah, and then like she's interested as Aaliyah, but yeah, I was like you can tell she was like struggling there, but she was really eager to learn. And then I think it was just a case of like, hey, we tried, but like we don't know what to do with her because she's not very good in the ring, and we don't know if we can teach her. So they just like. Honestly,
I know one thing I was reading was they were saying that this is going to be maybe a constant thing with this new merger, which is, are they progressing? Are you progressing? Are you better or more marketable than you were 6 months ago, a year ago? And I think, yeah, unfortunately, you look at Aaliyah and go, okay, she's been on the book since 2015. She's been on main TV for 2 years. Has she progressed? And I think there was maybe just signs of not necessarily. So, like, in a way, like I hate to say, but like maybe I can kind of see it in that perspective.
But they weren't even putting her on main event. They were putting they were doing like almost a Lenny Poffo thing and just keeping her at home. And she was getting back. Like she wasn't even having matches on main event. But I don't believe. So yeah. So
well, like I said, I mean, she was on Raw literally a couple of weeks ago, and she was doing the house shows. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But there was gaps where she wasn't doing much on TV at all.
Yeah. So yeah, it don't surprise at all. That's probably when you said that there was a release coming. I think she was the first person that came to mind. Honestly, I was like, oh, she's gone.
She's watching this episode. You're mean.
Mm-hmm.
She's not.
She might be. You don't know for sure.
I'm like 99% sure though.
That's accurate.
All right. Who's next?
All right, guys, get out your air guitar. Boozer, former Bugenhagen, which I thought was
who just returned not too long ago. It seems.
Yeah, on the books it's at least 2017. It looks like here he would unfortunately get the injury at WrestleMania. Like let's not forget, this dude was fighting for titles at WrestleMania up until his injury. Him and Shinsuke against the Usos in that match. And
unfortunate.
I was trying to find it
because I think he was getting over. I think the crowd was really into him.
So he's only a WWE guy. He was not an indie guy. He was someone WWE picked. And like, yeah, I thought he was a good example of sports entertainer. I liked him with the longer hair because I thought it fit the character here. Then I think they almost made him too generic type. They shorten your hair and now you're just gonna wear a singlet instead of like any fun clothing. And I thought that to me that hurt him just a little bit here. He came back. He kind of did what a lot of people do back in January of this year. He squashed the Miz a couple weeks in a row.
and we're supposed to believe that Miz can beat LA Knight.
Yeah, that is the thing. Like you can only job him so much, and like I said, squash the Miz 2 weeks in a row too.
I mean, the Miz wasn't a suit, you guys. Okay.
Not the second week. Was the second week also a suit?
Well, I mean, after that, his confidence was just down. He was like,
yeah.
Listen.
Last time we saw him was in that battle royal, that random ass battle royal LA Knight one called the "Let's just put LA Knight over as people stop complaining" battle royal. And before that, him and he actually teamed with LA Knight. Here's a fun one: to lose to the Street Profits back in May is the last time he had a normal match on television.
Yeah, that was when LA Knight was still a heel, and then he turned. He turned on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I actually remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were almost teasing like he might like end up. Oh, this thing just exploded on me. Fuck. I didn't shake it.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Well, I'll do it. I thought they could have done more with Rick Boogs. He was a very charismatic dude. I think in the ring he might have been limited, but I think he had a bit of a social media following prior to coming to WWE, because that might mean where they got him. Because my old personal trainer knew who Rick Boogs was, but he's not a wrestling fan. He just knows him for all his kind of training exercises and stuff like that. So.
That's why I'm slightly afraid for him, just because I kind of felt like he's kind of tailor made for WWE. He's kind of like an R-Truth, like, you know what I mean? And like, he's the kind of guy that I thought hopefully would have a job just based on he's entertaining and seems likable. Because I definitely don't think AEW is going to want him unless they want him in a Danhausen like level.
Yeah,
Impact maybe, but you got like Joe Hendry and all those. I don't know. I don't know who's gonna fall.
I don't know. He might go back to just doing what he was doing. He actually came out and said that he reckons that it was once when Vince left that the company lost like faith in like Vince is more behind him than Triple H or whatever it was. That's what he believed. But
and
yeah,
I can see that because again, going with that entertaining aspect, I believe that actually 100%.
Although I would say though, because Vince is back in the fold to an extent, like if Vince wanted you to stick around, you'd still be around.
Yeah. I think unfortunately, I hate to say it because it's not his fault largely, but I think that injury hurt him, and I don't think he ever got the momentum back. And whether that's his fault or not, I don't think they ever gave him a shot. They kind of did it first with the Miz, but then that fell.
Yeah, it looks like he was teasing a tag team with another guy we'll bring up in a minute.
Which would have made sense. I would have been behind that. Just think of the concerts we could have gotten.
Do you mean this guy?
Yeah. If you listen closely, you can still hear Seattle booing him.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this guy was destined for an IC US title run, but never rose past 24/7.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that Rick Boogs had the same mustache that Rick Rude had in the ECW episode we just watched.
He's probably more into it than Rick Rude was in the CCW episode.
Oh my god, Rick Rude was weird on that damn episode.
He was checked out anyway.
We'll get into it shortly, yeah, but got a few more to go through. Yeah, Elias. This one's a little surprising. I know they weren't featuring them on TV much, but I always thought he could have been like a solid mid upper card kind of guy. I think.
I really was this dude's gonna get the IC title any day now, the US title any day now.
Yeah,
they just never did,
and I think it's unfortunate. Like I would love to see another company pick him up, and I would love to see him keep the same gimmick too. Like let's keep this going. I will walk with Elias anywhere.
On the books, it's 2014, main roster 2017. One thing that I liked him at a house show, and this is a true story, I might have told this here on before, when he was first kind of doing the character on the house shows, he would be a drifter. He would literally be like, all right, and look for dollars, and he would take your dollars. Elias took $3 from me one time. It's a true story. I never gave it back.
You gave him $3?
I might have been 2. I definitely handed him a couple dollar bills, if not 3, yeah.
You know what they're gonna do with that money, right?
Did you give him a top dollar?
Okay. No, but we're gonna talk top dollar here soon.
I might not have as much positive things to say about that, but anyway, we'll get to Elias. I love Elias, so I think he'll be fine. I think I could see him having a good run in Impact.
Now, well, here's the good news: Ezekiel still on the books.
Oh yeah, cool.
What about the third brother?
Oh yeah, that one
who never debuted. Yeah,
Elroy.
Yeah. We got to see. But
I told you that was my pitch. have him do a big match, lose, come back a few weeks later, something different. Big match, lose a few weeks later, something different. Keep going with it. I'm Evan. I'm Ethan.
They just one random. I'm Ralph.
Yeah, and then of course that one, yeah, I'm Chad. Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, I love Elias. I think he took what he was able, and he was able to get really over. Like he was one of those real ones. I had I think he's almost head around NXT. He's sort of main roster bred, where he was like got way over on the main roster than as opposed to NXT, and then his act got really good. He's a very charismatic guy. He's okay in the ring, but he could, his charisma kind of took him. Kind of helped that.
That's my only fear, is that I feel like, again, like Boogs, like I thought kind of tailor made for WWE,
Yeah, but I do see I think Elias is quite is a name I think people would want to pick up. I don't necessarily think
they can't. He's got to do something. He's got to be the Drift or something else. I just meant Elias. The actual name Elias won't be able to be.
Yeah, I know, but yeah.
I think speaking of NWA, I think this dude is your future NWA World Champion. I'm going to call that right now.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't mind that.
I mean, he did compete for the WWE title, so I mean, he was.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was a while there, man. I mean, his last feud would be actually as Ezekiel with Kevin Owens that had a pay-per-view match. But I mean, like, you go to pay-per-view, he had a few different things. Him and Jason Jordan, Seth Rollins single match. He fought Roman Reigns. Oh, that was only 10 seconds. Maybe that's not a great example. But
I mean, the fact that he was in the ring with Roman
matches. Yeah, and like I said, like he's someone that I feel they toyed around with, and you mentioned the great heat he got a couple times, but yeah,
that line in Seattle, I think that's still one of the best moments.
Yeah, and look, he had a number one for a minute there. He had the number one album, number one song on iTunes.
He has a best-selling album.
Yeah, the best-selling album. It was one of those weird things too, where it's like I guess the gimmick was that he's supposed to be bad at singing and play guitar, but he wasn't bad to be.
No, I would listen to a country album of his.
It wasn't bad enough to be kind of heelish. He was actually okay.
Yeah. Austin, any thoughts on Elias?
I don't know. The last thing I remember seeing with Elias was when he hit Jeff Jarrett with a guitar.
Yeah, that little mini feud with Jeff for a pay-per-view thing, right? Or at least a Raw match.
All right, I think we got a few more.
Hey, we got everyone's favorite.
Okay.
All right, cool. Yep,
hey, flop dollar, awesome. All right, next one.
Yeah. I knew this guy was doomed as soon as Michael Cole would bury the shit out of him all the time.
Yeah,
that was okay. Let me get you guys' opinion on this. I didn't like that because one, there's nowhere you can go with it. Two, it felt out of character because Michael Cole's largely a face who all of a sudden is shitting hard on his heel. And it did nothing good for him. Like, you're really emphasizing the bad here. Like, what positive came from Cole constantly shitting on him other than our little chuckles off air?
And unless he legit didn't like him, and the office didn't like him.
No, then you don't put him on TV. Like, you don't do that. There's no excuse, in my opinion, how that worked. I don't get it.
Maybe Michael Cole just doesn't care because he knows he's safe.
He's a voice to be.
And I like Cole, future Hall of Famer, but hook.
But I'll say this, and this, I feel bad in a sense. I feel bad. I'm surprised that the other two aren't on this list. Of the Hit Row.
He Top Dollar very much claims he's not. He doesn't have any heat with anybody, but you do wonder, okay, maybe he does, because Ashante is still in the books, B-Fab still is, so maybe they see something in them. I don't know.
But I will say what hurt Hit Row is the fact that they couldn't get Swerve. Swerve
you absolutely felt that, yeah.
Swerve was the glue. If they could get Swerve, they'd be featured more prominently on TV.
Yeah, they lasted a little over a year. They did return back in August. Had a squash match on their debut, but then last time we saw them here. Let's see. Oh my god. There's a gauntlet match they were in back in June. Last normal match was also back in June, losing to the OC in under 3 minutes. So yeah, another one that kind of fell by the wayside very quickly on their return. He did get in better shape. But yeah. Book AJ Francis if you want to book him.
You can book them. You can book them now.
Yeah.
You won't be usurped.
You had your chance. You took a contract over us before, so no, I don't. We might actually. Who knows?
Yeah.
Pez, your opinion?
I'll book him as bottom nickel.
I think
no. His name now is just Dollar, because I'm the one. He's just Dollar now.
Middle nickel.
You know what I say to that? Ugh. Next person, please.
Yeah, this one.
This hurts.
And kind of like Emma, like I love how on just like what was it? Not even a month, 2 months ago, they were like 20 years. Let's celebrate him. Oh, how great is that? You're fired.
You're fired.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, this one was a little surprising. I mean, I know they weren't featuring him, prominently, but I mean, I feel like he's still a good, veteran guy that you could have in the locker room, good presence, and yeah. I mean, if you don't have room for him on TV, I'm sure you could find somewhere for him backstage. Like I'm pretty sure there's places he could fit in.
The one thing I've always said to that is because I think that's very true, and everyone I think I've read that many times. People have been like, "Oh, just fucking let him coach, let him be backstage." I do think this is technically releasing him from a talent contract. I wouldn't be surprised if unless Benjamin wants to wrestle, because some people do want to wrestle while they can.
Right.
But I think even Benjamin said like, "No, I think I might be ready pretty sooner than later." I wouldn't be surprised if he was back literally within 6 months, like backstage, because of course, I don't know about you guys. Whenever there's a pull apart brawl, I'm always like, all right, what former wrestler's breaking this?
I'm like, I think Kenny Extra.
Williams, the Hurricane, Dykstra. I see you, Jason Jordan. That's where you went.
Jason Jordan.
Jason Jordan pops up. Yeah, if you ever want to see him. So yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised.
It's like going back and watching old shows, and you're like, "Oh, hey, there's Sheamus. Oh, hey, there's Wade Barrett."
If there's cops, you're like, "Oh, which indie stars is this?"
Or JBO,
especially in Florida.
If you're a Florida guy with every Goldberg match for a while, who's standing next to Goldberg's door? It's Chico Adams.
Oh, Chico's done everything. Even AEW, he's been a doctor at AEW. Who was it? He was checking like Liv Morgan's knee recently. He's the referee, Chico, in the wedding with like Naya and Reggie and Akira. He's the referee in that. Like, yeah, Chico's everything.
He's a man of many skills.
Yeah, this last run did us a little bit. Shelton would return in 2017. Him and Chad Gable had a really fun team. Chris Hoyt business, the Hurt business, which I think a lot of fans enjoyed, and I wanted them to get back together here. I kind of felt it's kind of sucked that they kind of made Shelton and Cedric, who I love Cedric. I was glad Cedric was on this list, although maybe we'll see if it continues because Cedric scares me as well.
I kind of wish he was so we could see him wrestle though.
Right, and that's it's that weird 50-50. Like, well, I don't want him to lose the job unless he wants to lose the job because he can fucking kill another guy, Cedric, like Mustafa. Fucking mouth-watering Impact matches, AEW matches. They were on Main Event earlier this month. Him and Cedric still teaming. The last thing they were doing, though they broke up like 3 times. They lost to the Viking Raiders. You'd have to go back to June when they were losing to Indus Sheeran, Sangha, and Veer.
Jeez.
For main TV.
Shanky, who might be on this.
Yeah, Shanky's coming. He's dancing as well on this list.
And then, I don't know. I think I love the Hurt Business. I thought they were one of the best things like best acts of like that pandemic era. I thought they were kind of they really shone. And I think obviously they really do respect Shelton. But maybe they just didn't have much from in the ring. But yeah, I see him as a backstage role. And yeah, they even talked about like, hey, once you're ready to hang it up, Sean was like, once you're ready to hang it up, we'll get you a Hall of Fame spot. So I assume that's going to come soon. Like, maybe in the next couple of years. So yeah.
Yeah, Austin.
No, I mean, yeah, he'll end up as a guy. He's one of those really good guys who needs to train people. Like he's really, really good. He needs to either be in that role or if WWE doesn't use him in that role, he's a perfect guy like a Jerry Lynn who you could have backstage, who's respected, who can still like work out with the guys a little bit. Even if WWE doesn't use him, man, Ring of Honor could use a guy like Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
Like
they get Ring of Honor too. We mentioned
he was in Ring of Honor, and he could have good matches without being like, you know, the top guy or whatever. But man, he could be that guy to work with a lot of those mid-card dudes and really elevate them, you know? Like,
if for some reason they don't touch him too, Impact's pretty good about having, you know, both legends on the roster and in the back, you know? In the back is Lance Storm and Dreamer, you know? So,
And the people on Impact, you didn't think would have another run, but they're doing pretty well. Like Johnny Swinger, he's entertaining as shit.
Yeah.
Johnny Swinger is having the best run of that man's entire career.
Yeah. 25 years after ECW, where he was a lower mid-card guy at best.
At best. Same thing with WCW. WWE, even less so. He was contracted as Johnny Parisi, but
and I guess Impact to an extent, but he's like they're playing off it, and it's kind of funny. Yeah.
And then we got.
All right, everyone, prepare to say who?
Who?
Oh, I remember this.
All right, next.
Quincy Elliott debuted in just 2022, mostly on Level Up. I'm trying to see if Quincy even had a. All right, we had a singles match back in September of last year. And then his last singles up match was in July. Him and Ikemen Jiro, who I think is also gone. I don't have on this list if Ikemen Jiro is on the list.
He is gone, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Bye, Ikemen Jiro, real quick. We'll miss you too, kind of. He had a cool jacket, right? Cool jacket. Losing to Hank Walker and Tank Ledger.
I like that.
Oh, he just had one actual 2.0 match. So I was not a fan. Hey, listen, I absolutely lived through other chubby big wrestlers. If you're entertaining and great, I love it. I didn't like the gimmick. I didn't think he was very good in the ring. I didn't see a lot, but there obviously I just looked at the list, wasn't a lot to see unless you watch Level Up, which I should watch more because of our boy Blake Chadwick. But yeah,
I could have sworn when he brought this dude up that was like the son of Mo from Men on a Mission.
Mo. We're on a mission.
Yeah.
Like, completely different. It was an interesting gimmick, but I didn't think Quincy pulled it off very well or entertainingly enough, and it was not good enough in the ring.
Yeah, I got confused with. I got confused with him and like Odyssey Jones. I'm like, oh.
Well, that's just because you're racist, Richie. But other than that,
I'm surprised he wasn't on the list, to be honest. But anyway,
well, yeah, he's one that, and I think Odyssey's the opposite. I think Odyssey's got a lot of potential, and I don't know why they even bothered saying he's on the main roster when they've done jack shit with him.
Yeah, he's like not that it should matter, but like, but they made a point of it. Is he like? Was Quincy like open? Is he like openly gay, or is that like a like?
I know the character from what I saw was very flamboyant and out there. If you look at his ring gear, his ring gear kind of, I would say the closest I can say is like imagine Nia Jax. Like it's that kind of like long suit kind of ring gear. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think there's a reason why he has one, or I don't know if he's the right pronunciation. I want to make sure, but there's a reason Quincy has one match on actual NXT television.
Yeah, fair enough. I saw him once, and I think I just saw that promo that you got the screenshot from. That's about it.
Yeah.
No,
Batista's ex.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Dana was enthusiastic. She definitely. I thought you could tell like she was very outspoken about like feeling disrespected a lot of the time, but like I think she'd gotten better. She definitely gotten better in the ring, but she was kind of a punchline for a while. She's probably, she's one of the ones who kind of took it seriously, like, about being 24/7 champion. And I thought they could have they did definitely hire her at the start because like she has that build that Vince and
she's an athlete. Yeah, she's definitely an athlete.
Vince and Triple H likes, but maybe just because she wasn't progressing as much, they kind of just lowered her down the card. But I thought they could have done a bit more with her. Like obviously, I think she's. There's limitations there, but I thought because she's never won a championship outside of the 24/7. I thought she could have at least held maybe the tag titles or something, or maybe had a title feud. But they never fully got behind her, so it's not surprising. But I could see it maybe going to Impact, maybe going to the NWA Women's Division or something. I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, she's another one I question because again, NXT original here, 2014 main roster, 2016. Also, the only year she had a singles match on pay-per-view, 2016. Never a singles match ever again on pay-per-view. Yeah, so I do wonder like whether or not this is. I think she was trying. I think there's always signs that like she was at the PC a lot and stuff like that. But like you said, she'd be forgotten about. She had a kind of an interesting NXT run recently. Again, they brought her down just like Mustafa, and she was just starting to kind of turn heel. She was like a protege who was mad that like her protege was not winning and kind of starting to turn shitty on her. So like they were kind of teasing that. Yeah, I think she still had potential. I think she keeps going. Again, sometimes I look at things like, yeah, just because you're a great athlete doesn't necessarily mean you're ready for prime time. And maybe that's the case. Maybe she needs to go out and like experience like an indie run or an impact run, and keep working at it if that's what she so fits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bummer.
Nah. Oh.
Bummer.
That's
who's that?
Marseille.
Sleep, former commentator, right? Commentated for like 6
You
weeks.
couldn't get a maximum male model to him.
Was a commentator. Samoa Joe beat the shit out of him, threw him through a table. Never talked about him again. I always thought that should have been one of the reasons. I always thought like everyone in Retribution had a reason to be pissed. That's his reason, but we never got a reason why. They were just goofy people in face paint, a little bit of face paint or eyeshadow and a mask, and commentary.
Now he's going to go to AEW, and he's going to attack Samoa Joe just like MJF did.
Revenge.
Looking for revenge.
Of course, Maximum Male Model after Retribution here. I believe they were drafted to Raw. They competed in one Raw Battle Royal back in May. Last time we saw them on TV before that, a SmackDown Battle Royal back in March.
They were just buddies.
If you want a normal match, you have to go all the way back to January. You have to go 9 months ago. They lost to a Legado del Fantasma. Yeah. So yeah, that's his recent run here.
Even Maxine Dupree was like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Yeah, well, once Maxine Dupree was like sort of paired with Chad and Otis, and it didn't look like it was a temporary thing. I'm like, oh, okay.
Which, if she wasn't, I'm sure we'd be talking about her as well.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Alexa Bliss, Buddy Murphy, and like Buddy and Blake, where it's like, who would have known at that point, like Alexa's the standout in a long haul, and who would have known that, like, if you don't include LA Knight, between Maxine, him, and Mansoor, who's around, it's Maxine getting the push.
Maxine getting the push, and she's made the most of it. To be honest, she's good. she's
fine.
She's fine.
She's lucky. She's lucky with how they're booking her and the people around her. Other than that, she's fine. I don't think she's bringing anything special to the table, but I think she's capable of what they've given her so far.
Well, but I will say about I must say, and I'll talk about Mansoor too. I think they make like this kind of like they remind me of Breezango a bit, but I guess it's the gimmick. But like, they also remind me of Breezango in the sense that they made the most out of a weird what was supposed to be like a really probably a burial gimmick. And that you can tell that they're really good friends and they have really good chemistry.
Yeah, they still to this day Twitch together, I believe. And
they're really funny. Like, they could have done more with them. They're very funny.
I will 100%, as much as we're making fun of them about Retribution stuff, I will stand by the untapped potential here because they were funny. If you watch their YouTube stuff, main event stuff, like they were good. They were doing what they could. And they were never given a chance to really show that on television, man. Like I said, drafted a Raw, not even in a full-length match.
There's a clip of them like on the road, like both singing the Kane's theme song by Finger 11. It was really funny.
It's him, and it's him.
I like I thought they'd keep Mansoor around just because like the Saudi, obviously they treat him as a big deal in the Saudi Arabia thing. So I thought that at least pop him back up, like, hey, have a Saudi Arabia match. But no,
true. I almost thought he was safe just because of that. I hate to say it, but because they do every once in a while, they'll throw him out. You know what I mean? Like him and Mustafa Ali had a pretty good match. He had a full length match with Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro. You know what I mean? Like there was moments at least he had. Again, all Saudi Arabia matches to a large degree here. But again, I thought he could go too. Like he's another one that like for somebody that's only been around since 2017 on the paper. I thought he was pretty good too.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty good, and someone that again you could build around, like the Saudi show. So yeah, like and like again with the tag team, I think you could have at least build them to be tag team champions. But I thought that was good.
I mean, build him to at least fucking have a match, maybe challenge for the title. Shit.
Maybe, but yeah, no, I thought he was decent in the ring. So a little surprising, but not too surprising. And the next guy is not too surprising either.
Double Kato.
Is that his name? I completely forgot.
Yeah, the Commander Aziz.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know they released Kama, the Supreme Fighting Machine. That's so
Yeah. A bit surprising in the sense that like they were doing stuff with him in NXT, like they were building him as a monster. I think he was feuding with Tyler Bate. So I thought like they might, but like again, I think there's a communication thing with WWE and NXT. But like I thought he was featured decently on NXT, but yeah, again, he wasn't great, so it's not really there's probably like diminishing returns with him. So
yeah.
And
NXT original 2016. First pay-per-view appearance was again in Saudi. He was one of the 50 people in that Greatest Rumble back in 2018.
That's right.
Then you didn't see him for a while.
Yeah. Did he show back up at WrestleMania when Apollo Crews was challenging Big E?
Yeah,
he's with him there. That's where his Commander Aziz. Yeah. He was also one of the standouts, and again, another time I thought they were going to push him was the that Raw Underground stuff with Shane. They threw him out there a couple of times and killing people. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is why we have Raw Underground, and then he disappeared.
Hey, Chico Adams had a match on Raw Underground.
Who?
Chico.
Oh, was it fucking this guy?
That was him. Yeah, that guy killed him. Yeah.
And again, that led to literally 0 normal matches. What a wasted segment. It led to pushing nobody here. I thought it was going to push maybe Ziggler as a real athlete. No, I thought it was going to maybe push. Remember one time randomly Marina Shafir and I think Jessamine appeared. Shayna's friends. Nothing, just
but then they heard Marina Shafir cut a promo and they were like, yeah, never mind.
Do you know me? Because I don't know me. Who knows me? What?
Remember Arturo Ruas, or whatever his name was?
Yeah, another one I thought was gonna maybe come from that. No, but I mean, again, kind of a certain side. He was also Babatunde at one point, and Double Kato. So he's had 3 different names. His last match was with Tyler Bate just this month, actually.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh shit! I feel so bad. Like, not that she's watching, but fuck. All right, moving on. I don't remember either. Shaky.
You can only dance so much.
Wasn't that great? I'm surprised V is not on here, but I guess
Beer at least okay. Beer's got a look to where I feel like they're trying every once in a while. Shanky, I don't think, I don't know, he's literally wearing fucking Target sweatpants and a tank top. Doesn't seem like he's in that great a shape underneath. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I never saw too much. His best spot was him dancing and kind of pissing off Jinder. That's kind of, to me, his claim to fame.
He looks like an Indian Dominic Mysterio.
A little bit.
He just returned as far as main television. Actually, not television. I'm sorry, they actually didn't film it this year, but the Superstar Spectacle, and he fought Gunther actually. Wasn't a squash, but wasn't that long either from what it reads. And then last time you'd see him on television was in July. Him and Jinder lost a match to the Viking Raiders. Viking Raiders also seems to be people's last opponents a couple times tonight.
Hi, if you can beat the Viking Raiders, you can stay.
But no one beats them.
If not,
they don't
he'll
stay.
be gone in 3 months.
Okay. Ulysses Leon. I just want to say her name. It came back into me. Ulysses Leon. I thought she had potential, but maybe not.
I couldn't see much.
I think there's one more.
And we do.
This is
I
the
main
big one.
evented with Ziggler.
Yeah.
Well, I thought there was 2 more.
Oh, there's technically 2. Yeah, this was.
Who else
this
did
was
I
all,
skip? Did I skip?
This was all one.
Matt Riddle.
And then the following day, I think Friday,
probably because the list I fucked up. Okay, then
So
we'll talk about him. Then we'll talk about Riddle. And
this was all Thursday, and then I think Riddle was Friday.
Yeah, he was that weird solo. We forgot about Riddle. Get the fuck out of here.
No. We'll get to Riddle, but I think that wasn't part of I think he's released due to another reason. But anyway, we'll get.
We'll get there. Easily, obviously the most tenured person on here.
2008.
Let's see. I mean, you go back to even technically again on the books. What 05, I think.
Spirit Squad.
Because he's a Spirit
yeah.
Squad.
Kerwin White's caddy.
The caddy.
Oh yeah, before Spirit Squad. Yeah, he is the
Uh-huh.
caddy. No name other outside of the caddy. They might have called him Nick once, but yeah, OVW guy from 2004. 2004. He'd first appear on Heat and house shows in October of 2005. Which even he agrees was way too soon for him to be on television. He's like, I barely fucking knew shit, and they're putting me on television. That's a pretty quick turnaround, less than a year. Would go on to win FCW tag titles one time with Ty Dillinger, Intercontinental, World Heavyweight, US. Let's see, the Intercontinental 6 times, tag team champions with Drew McIntyre and Robert Roode twice, as well as a recent, again, not too long ago, March through April, the NXT champ. He would make appearances in NXT, have a feud with Braun Breaker here. Let's see, last time we saw him on television was a double count out with JD McDonough, which was May. May would be the last time we saw him on television.
Yeah, and then that kind of
did not
didn't go anywhere. So
nope. What a surprise! It didn't end here. Yeah, definitely one of the longest tenure. Again, in a weird way, I think kind of in the same vein. Although he was higher than a Zack Ryder as far as like, he had like a world title run at one point, but another guy that I think was just been on that mid card for so long, and probably when you think about it, if they're just looking at this from a number standpoint and what have you done recently standpoint, I'm sure this dude got a bump every couple years. So it just might have been like, hey man, like, we're paying this guy X amount and he's not even on much. So I think he's absolutely talented. I've actually seen him do stand up. I met him. He was very nice. So he might do more of that, more acting now that he's free. I think 100% he's going to appear in AEW with his brother. He's been on Being the Elite before, which I don't know if that pissed off anybody too, maybe. But I think we'll get at least a tag match out of him, like an appearance like Rob Van Dam or John Morrison, you know what I mean? And yeah, we'll see from there. I think he said in an interview years ago, as far as money is concerned, he's good. So he doesn't need to do anything he doesn't want to do. But like, again, if he loves wrestling, which I think he does, anybody could take him. I mean, I'm sure Impact's going to try. You know what I mean? I don't think it's dumb for AEW to try. It's a former world champion here. He's in the same vein with Mustafa Ali. Can't take everybody, but you do want the top, and I think fans would pop for it. So,
yeah, those two that you mentioned, Ali and Ziggler, I think could do really well.
Yeah, those are my two. Match wise, star wise.
Yeah. I think between like 2009, 2013, I like Dolph Ziggler is a man. But yeah, and he had one of the best cash-ins probably of all time, I think. Other than
another what if too, because I feel like they just gave it back to Del Rio because of the concussion.
Yeah,
and he never got back, unfortunately. To that spot.
Yeah. But that pop when he won, I was like, holy shit! That was one of the biggest. Yeah, that was great, and yeah, I think he's got a lot of upside. He's another guy too. Like I don't know if he want to, but he could also be a trainer one day. I think he'd make a good trainer if he wanted to do that. But yeah, I think so I could definitely see. I think his brother needs more of a push too. I think he's talented in his own right, so it'd be cool to maybe go to AEW with his brother. And eventually sort of break it on his own. I think that'd be a good signing. I do see him going to AEW. So yeah, they weren't they were definitely using him more as an enhancement guy in recent years. Like he would get squashed from up to Omos. He gets squashed out of other people too. I think Bronson Reed. So yeah, definitely it was just been used as a body lately. So it's not overly surprising, but it sucks because yeah, he's very very good and very very talented. And honestly, at the end of the day, like I don't know. I mean, yeah, like it is a what if thing because I think he could be like, I honestly believe he could be a Hall of Famer one day. But
oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah, I mean, not to. The bar is not that high. He's 100% a Hall of Famer.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It also seemed like anytime they wanted a big name from NXT called up, Dolph Ziggler, you're the first feud.
Yeah. He became that kind of Miz, like, test him out.
Yeah. He was the Tyler Breeze of the main roster. So, yeah, and then you obviously don't have a picture of him, but Riddle is also gone. So that one was I think that one was a little surprising. I was waiting for him and Orton to be reunited, but RK Bro is now
That's
RK No. So
yeah, I mean, I thought I'm honestly waiting for a Randy Orton or Riddle even to turn on him. I think that was going to be short lived if it was going to be reunited, because I think we were waiting for that at some point. I think Riddle is just a case of maybe sometimes he's a very talented dude, but sometimes he's his own worst enemy. Like he got flagged twice for wellness, and that's not weed because they don't test for that anymore. And then there was some. I mean, even before he got to the WWE, had some allegations following him that WWE had to kind of sort out. And earlier last year, he went to rehab, came back, and then it was just like, and then he had a weird incident recently where he was sort of just being disruptive on a flight, and then he accused one of the officers of sexual assault or like misconduct or something, but then he deleted the Twitter post that he was running out, and then so WWE were investigating that, and then he was gone. So I think it was just like, we're putting, it's like one too many chances type of thing. I don't know, but like he's a really good athlete and a really good wrestler. Yeah, and he shouldn't be as good as he is. He came from UFC, and yeah, he picked up wrestling very quickly. So I mean, if he can, he'd be an asset if he can sort of get his sort of other stuff, affairs in order. I think he'd be an asset to any company, but I also think he'll be I think I read that some maybe MMA promotions on him, so I could see him maybe going maybe to Bellator MMA promotion or PFL, or PFL if they want him. But I could also, I could also see. I don't know.
If you've been out the game for so long, unless you love that sport, that's a hard sport just to jump right back into. And hopefully he was good with his money, or he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
NXT guys since 2018, main roster, I think 2020, 2019 maybe. I mean, U.S. champion, double time tag team champion. Yeah, it's hard to know with him because again, I feel like if this was just a Dolph Ziggler release, I would say almost again assuredly AEW. But again, there's allegations, there's other things too, to where like, yeah, I don't feel like, at least for the time being, they're gonna touch him. You know what I mean? So yeah, that now just depends on where he wants to go. Whether it is back to MMA, whether it's something else. I'm sure Impact might take a chance if they can afford him, and again, if he wants. So that's gonna be an interesting one to follow, because on paper, he's again one of the more surprising ones. Still doing stuff to the very end. Earlier this month, he was doing stuff with Drew McIntyre. They were almost teasing like that might be a team.
Or a feud. I think McIntyre.
Or a feud, into a feud with Drew, kind of turning. He was in a tornado match with the Viking Raiders. Was the last time we saw him. Fought Gunther for the Intercontinental title last July. Or I'm sorry, this July. It's not that long ago. Even Backlash. Don't forget he was in that 6-man tag with Owens and Riddle against the Bloodline. So that's a pretty, again, steep fall to go from, you know what I mean, you're in a 6-man tag with the world champion
to not have that job
in April to being done in September. That does seem to me to be more than just let's cut ties, you know what I mean, kind of thing, like a Ziggler or a Benjamin, where there's more to it. There's definitely some more to it.
Definitely.
Stay tuned in WrestleMania weekend in Philadelphia for Matt Riddle's Bloodsport coming back.
I could definitely see him being in Bloodsport.
Oh yeah.
Well, that literally was his thing. As kind of alluding to. Before Josh
Barnett was Josh Barnett's Bloodsport.
Oh, really? I thought it was always Josh Barnett.
No. Matt Riddle presents Bloodsport.
Again, you're not watching Wrestling with Trivia because I definitely have asked that before.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was Matt Riddle's Bloodsport. I think only the first year, if not the first two, but I think just the first year.
First two, I think at least. I think it was.
Is it two?
Remember two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he got signed, and then
I could definitely see him making an appearance at the next Bloodsport because they always do on WrestleMania weekend, always. And
it's a popular event. I don't like it that much, but it's popular.
Yeah, no, it's a weird show if you don't know what you're gonna see.
It just blends in though. Like it's really cool, but after like match 4, I'm like, all right, I've seen this.
Yeah, right.
All right, so we'll see where all those guys end up, and if any of them end up back in the company. Benjamin in a backstage role, Ziggler or Ollie over in AEW. we'll see. It'll be interesting in the next few months after these no compete clauses. And
I was going to say it'd be interesting to see if some of them. There's some cases where they don't have no compete clauses, but I don't know. But it's a bit weird. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
It's like we don't
Question
care
is
if
your
Shanky
contract's
goes.
ending, or are they letting you go in the middle of it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's straight up ending, then they might be able to. But from what I don't think the news has not leaked that like if someone's available right now. You know what I mean? Like I think like Quincy, if you want to put Quincy Elliott, you might only have 30 days. But I think everyone else is in their 90s for the most part. Your list probably is 30.
Yeah.
Or if you want to book Edge for AEW, which is a rumor. Okay.
We're gonna talk. Yeah, we're gonna talk that pretty soon.
Yeah, but before we get there, we have another retro show that we decided to watch. So Austin, take us away.
What a weird fucking show.
It's really hard to review the show because I don't know.
I don't. This is going to be tricky because it's weird. It's like a compilation recap show of like a house show. It's weird.
They just put like all these random segments. Like this and
I'll talk about it. Yeah. So technically, we're talking about ECW Hardcore TV from May 20th, 1997. A lot of the show comes from an event they did in Buffalo, New York. This is the same venue they would do November to Remember '99. That Mike Awesome Tanaka match that I love. It's the same building, same gym or whatever they're in. But yeah, we open up the show right near the end of Shane Douglas versus Chris Chetty. We're just in the middle of the match, kind of near the end of the match. Chetty's making his comeback. Kind of a rookie Chris Chetty here before he would team kind of famously with Nova. That was kind of his biggest run he would ever have in ECW. He hits superplex, super kicker too. And then your crowd's kind of starting to get into him, but he misses a pretty good looking double jump moonsault. He jumps from one rope to the other rope. And then moonsault looked good, but he misses. And Shane Douglas hits a belly to belly and wins. It just kind of jumps right into it. With this match. So we only get. I mean, there's not much you can say about the match. We just jumped into like the last 2 minutes of it.
I think this one I timed just for fun. It's about an even 2 minutes, like a minute 59.
Yeah, you jump right into it to and we'll get to him. But I feel like Rick Rude talked about Francine for the majority of the show. And right into a sexist joke. I can't remember what it was, but it was
he makes a lot of like sex jokes throughout the entire thing. Every time they go back to him, it's very strange. Yeah, you can tell he was just like, "Hey, I got a show where I can just say whatever I want, so I'll just say whatever I want," and that's kind of what happened here.
As somebody who's never watched an episode of ECW Hardcore TV, this was probably not the best one to start with.
Right. And some ECW Hardcore TV was always weird because either they would just show an entire match from pay-per-view or they would show like house show footage and just do random promos kind of sprinkled in between, or just whatever matches they had from their most recent show. They would just show a couple of them with a couple of interludes because this is pre-TNN. Because once they got to TNN, it would become a little more of like a straightforward wrestling show as far as like proper interludes, introductions to matches, things like that. This is like, hey, only some people are catching this somewhere in syndication up in like the New York area. So, it's we're just going to show footage from whatever show we just had. Essentially, it's very strange if you ever watch it. Speaking of Joey Styles and Rick Rude, we cut to them as we do a couple times throughout the show. They're sharing a microphone, so Joey Styles always just like says something and then holds up the microphone to Rick Rude next to him and his mustache. And
is this the infamous like basement in Philly probably with Paul? Or?
Oh yeah, no, this is definitely the house basement, where they filmed everything amongst the backdrop there. I don't know like what Rick Rude's talking about. He says something about going on like Kathy Lee. Yeah, he says something about like Frank was jealous that I cooked Kathy Lee's buns or something. Like I have no idea what he's talking about. I have no idea. It's an inside reference that I have no idea what he's talking about.
I was surprised to see him. I know he did like this kind of thing. You know what I mean? I know he hosted shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And then like the first like is like first a lot line delivery. I'm like, man, are you reading off a teleprompter? Like, you know what I mean? Like he just felt bored.
His line delivery is very blunt. It's just like, now Frank Kiffer was jealous that I cooked Kathy Lee's buns. and then Joey Styles, and every time Joey Styles would just like look at the camera and be like, all right, moving right along. So, anyways. And then he just goes into saying something about how Taz is more miserable than ever before. I don't know what that means. No context. He's miserable. Cool. All right. But speaking of Taz, that leads into our first full match of the evening. We get Taz versus Spike Dudley. This is a weird time for Spike because he's still kind of like part of the Dudley family. He's not LSD yet, like little Spike Dudley yet. He's still kind of starting to kind of come into his own. It's not a super long. Oh, what's up?
It can't be very cleanly to be stuck in on that top rope. Just on that.
No, he was chewing on the top rope. Yeah, which is not. Yeah, don't do that, people.
That's not sanitary.
It's not very sanitary at all. I don't even mind when heels like spray the ropes with Lysol. It's probably actually a good idea when you do that because those are not great.
There's a time during COVID where like they were doing that shit on every match.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like I kind of want to stick to that.
I was just going to say, Taz and Spike Dudley, former WWE Tag Team Champions. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's right. Well, they're not tag team champions here. It's like a 5-minute match. JP, did you get a time for? I didn't get a time for this one.
I might have. If I have it, it's the last one I timed. 5:33.
5:33 sounds about right. It's a 5-minute match. It's kind of an overblown squash match. Spike gets a couple little comebacks with a few bulldogs and whatnot here and there, but most of it is Taz kind of out wrestling him, judo throwing him here and there. He does an Alabama slam out of the corner. They look pretty good. He does the old. I always like when they do the German suplex, but it's the flip German suplex, where they land on their stomach. He does that to Spike. That's always fun. I dig that. He suplexes. He gives him another T-bone kind of right on his head. Again, Spike tried to fight back once or twice here and there. They screwed up a spot near the end from what it looked like. They kind of miscommunicated the finish, but eventually Taz just grabbed him, suplexed him in, and then gave him the Taz mission for the submission. So, not a whole lot to talk about here, but it was a fun little 5-minute match for what it was.
Yeah, I guess
it was good.
Yeah, sorry.
It's the best kind of spike you can do. You just fucking toss them around, little hope spots.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tame compared to some of the spots he took in WWE.
And against guys like Mike Awesome or Bam Bam Bigelow.
I was just going to say, I guess it's clearly before like LSD like Spike Dudley because like he'll do the bulldog, but they weren't calling it the acid drop, and it wasn't treated as a finishing move. It's just he kicked that too.
Yeah, he was doing the setup for the acid drop, but it was just a bulldog version of it instead of the actual cutter version of it. Yeah, it was a little weird. He was doing a little bit of that, so he would figure that out later. We get our first of several. Like, okay, here's where we go into what I call the montage portion of the episode, which is really weird. Because, my God, are we just jumping between 50 different things for like 10 minutes? It's really weird. Because you think you're about to start another match because the pit bulls come out and the FBI's in the ring and they fight for a second and then we just cut. And we cut to Balls Mahoney hitting someone with a chair and pinning somebody. I don't know who it was or what that was. And then we move on to people cutting promos on Rob Van Dam and it was the entire roster cutting promos on Rob Van Dam.
We'll get to first was a couple of them, and then we cut to I think it was Tommy Dreamer and someone fighting out on stairs.
I don't know, but I don't know where this was from because we saw Tommy later in an actual match. So, like, when did this happen? He fell down the bleachers? I don't know, but he rolls down about 20 bleachers against somebody. Yeah, it's just a lot of random action from different things. And then, like I said, we start this promo montage where they're all talking about Rob Van Dam, who right now is doing the Mr. Monday Night gimmick where he keeps his character wants to go to WWF. But it's weird because he didn't, though. So he was part of one or two things during that mini invasion they did for like 2 weeks on Raw, where they had some of the ECW guys cross over. But then he was back. So, I mean, I don't know. This is all weird because people are going, somebody calls him, you sell out motherfucker. Sandman cuts a promo on him, like Richie said. Tommy Dreamer cuts a brief promo on him. The Dudleys are talking about him. Chris Candido calls him an asshole. Raven does a whole promo where he calls him a sellout. Meanwhile, a month later, he'd be in WCW.
But it wasn't Tommy Dreamer one of the ones that went with RVD. Who went with RVD in the first place? Wasn't Tommy Dreamer one of the other people that went? It wasn't just RVD on his own, was it? I thought it was.
No, Tommy was on that show. Devon Dudley was on that show.
Yeah, so what are they
was on that
talking
show.
about?
Taz was on that show. Mikey Whipwreck was on that show. Yeah, there's a bunch of the Eliminators were on that show. Everybody was on that show.
So why are they saying that Rob Van Dam? Because
I have no idea. It's weird. Like,
he aligned himself with Lawler, and Lawler's kind of the anti guy.
I guess, but he didn't actually go.
But he didn't actually go. And also, okay, I get it if you're going to focus on 3 or 4 people going, I need to sell out. You don't have to ask the whole roster. I mean, this went on for ages.
Dude, I literally wrote this promo montage went on for an hour. Oh my god, it just kept going and going and going. I was like, okay, I get it. You guys don't
I don't need to know what Beulah McGillicuddy thinks. I don't
need to know what Francine thinks. Yeah, Beulah thinks in the bathroom with a curling iron. Rick Rude tells RVD to bring lots of KY jelly when he goes there, for some reason. I thought we had moved on, and then we go to Raven, and then we go to what the fuck? This went on forever. JPO, you should have timed this, because I swear this went on for 45 minutes.
No. This is almost why I gave up on timing, because I was like, oh, Balls is wrestling. Oh no, it's just the end of the match. Oh, the tag match? I don't know. Are we done? What the fuck it? All right, fuck it. I could have timed this show.
I started writing
the
down
whole time, just like this.
Yeah, I started writing down numbers because I write down numbers between each of the matches. I was like, 3 Pitbulls versus FBI. Okay, here we go. Oh no, wait, what the fuck? Oh, never mind.
Even Shane versus Chris Shetty, I can't really say that's the time of the match because we came in at the last 2 minutes. I don't know how long that match is.
I checked out at this point until
we started an actual match again. It just went on and on and on and on.
Rough montage of here's some shit happening. Hopefully this intrigues you to come live. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not the most intriguing TV show.
Yeah, and then I don't know. And then it was just distracting. Other times where again, Rick Rude just talked about Francine apropos of nothing. He wasn't even in the ring. Just hey. Francine, she can't wrestle a leg, but she sure can. But you should see her box.
When I thought we were going to get a good show, we got an okay show.
Maybe Hardcore TV is not the thing. Yeah.
Well, this was the weirdest show we've watched so far. Just because I the structure of it, and I know ECW was all over the place, but at least with their pay-per-views. They're goofy in that they would just start matches with run-ins. Somebody would run in, and there were 2 people that ran in would start a match. It'd be really strange like that. But ECW was kind of known for that, so it is.
That's fine.
This was weird. Yeah,
there's still more of a structure to their pay-per-views. Hey, match. Okay, match. You'd learn. Okay, run in. Okay, there's a match. But man. Okay, ring announce a match. They wouldn't cut away from a 5-second segment. You're okay.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't even have Joey Styles introducing, being hey, here's the situation with RVD, and here's what some of our roster had to say about it. That would make a little more sense at least, but they don't even set that up.
Some explanation.
Some setup, something. We went around the locker room and got comments on the RVD situation from so and so. Okay, here you go. Let's see where this person has put their names on screen so you know who they are. Dudley's commenting on RVD. Whatever. Even Terry Funk comments on it. He's just you're gonna go this and that. I was I didn't need that either. What does Terry Funk give a shit about RVD? He doesn't care. It's I don't know.
But also I don't know if it's just my it might have been yours, but they had this weird music in the background of their program.
Oh my god, it sounded like it sounded like the Pulp Fiction opening music. It's surf music,
which didn't match up with what the content in the context of things, and it was sort of overpowering the promos. I mean, it's this is so annoying.
So I started writing down everybody who showed up, and then I gave up halfway through. I was okay, I don't know. There's Candy. Whatever. Are
you ready for a montage?
And like I said, then Raven has the longest one where he bitches about sellouts, and literally I looked it up, and a month later in June, this is in May, in June, he's in WCW. Bro. You were the one who actually went somewhere. Get out of here. Anyways, we finally get to, I guess, our main event of the show, as we have Tommy Dreamer and Raven in the ring. They're going to have a tag match. They each are Todd Gordon's allowing them to pick their partners. whoever they let partner with. Crowd starts chanting Terry. He does, in fact, pick Terry Funk to be his partner, and Raven picks Stevie Richards, who has always been kind of his little stooge for a little while. But they were former tag team champions, so it makes sense, which they at least mention on commentary. They started to do something fun that I thought would last a little longer, where they're having this match and Raven's almost giving like running commentary on the microphone to Stevie, which was fun because he's just like I told you, when you back him into the corner, kick him in the stomach or whatever. Like he's telling him what to do. He's like giving him advice over the microphone. Terry Funk like beats up Stevie for a minute, and after he tagged in for a second, tags Stevie back in. He gets on the microphone and goes, "Get in there, and kick his old ass!" like there was some funny bits with Raven. He's like, "You fight like a bitch." Like he's on the microphone saying stuff like that. I found that amusing, at least for a little bit.
It was like, at the end, you're not going to beat him with that shit, and he just hits him with Raven.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it kind of starts as a regular match. We brawl for a little while. Raven puts Terry Funk on the announce table and then does kind of a flip over the top and lands on him, puts him through the table. They brawl around the entranceway for a minute. There was then some weird stuff where they got back to the ring. They started putting the heat on Terry, and at one point, Tommy runs in, and the ref is holding him back. Why?
I always thought like tag matches in ECW are interesting because like why don't you just go?
There's no rules. We're not. We don't disqualify people. What are we holding people back from running in and interfering for? Meanwhile, in the same point when the ref is holding Tommy Dreamer back, there's a table in the ring that Raven is beating the shit out of Terry Funk with and putting him through the table and hitting him with it, and they're hitting him with chairs, and yet no, Tommy Dreamer, how dare you get back to your corner?
You're not the legal man.
Yeah,
it just makes sense for like in ECW to full tag matches be tornado tags. So why tag it? That'll be who cares? Like it's it's not against. There's no rules. Not against the rules not to tag.
Because I'm pretty sure at some point Tommy comes in and like rolls up Raven,
and he wasn't the legal man. He's not the legal man. He starts rolling up everybody. He's not the legal man. And then even the finish was weird because I'm getting there.
That was great.
well, yeah. So they start. Everything breaks down. Louis Spicoli runs in. He's about to give Terry Funk the Spicoli driver. Stevie then. He super kicks Louis Spicoli, I think. A lot was happening here. Then Raven and Stevie square off, and Raven DDT Stevie, and then somehow Raven was out of the ring. And, he's a big fan of DDTs. And then Stevie somewhere pinned Terry Funk.
Yeah,
hitting him with anything? I didn't follow this. Yeah,
where did Terry Funk take a bump?
He didn't take a bump. The last time I saw him was he was up for the Spicoli driver, but didn't get hit with it. He just fell over, and then Stevie fell on top of him and pinned him. It was very weird.
He had an old man fall. Is that what he got pinned by?
Yeah, he died of old age in the middle of the ring, and Stevie pinned him.
He retired for the fourth time.
Yeah, there was like 15 DDTs at the end. Tommy DDT'd somebody. Raven DDT'd Stevie. I don't know. There was a bunch of stuff going on. And yeah, at some point at the end, Stevie pinned Terry Funk, and then we immediately ended the show.
Yeah, then it just ended.
It just ended. Yeah, it's over. Time to
I'm watching on Peacock. I turned away for a moment, and like the next episode, I was like, it's still going. Okay, I thought that was going to be it. And then I was, no, it's the next week's episode.
So yeah, this match started out kind of fun. I was digging, the Raven commentary and like kind of the dynamic with him and Stevie and a few things here and there, and then just became kind of a clusterfuck at the end, and it wasn't very good. So yeah, a weird episode of ECW TV.
Solid 5 out of 10.
I did like a 3.5 out of 10 for me. The montage went on forever. It burned me so bad. I hated this.
Yeah, but like if you take that out, like I think the Taz Spike stuff was
okay, but it was 5 minutes. Whatever.
There were some fun moments.
You could put matches in between the montage. Like obviously the montage is all leading up to Todd Gordon going, "You're suspended." Like you could have had like 4 or 5 people just go, "Yeah," right? And then Todd Gordon going, "You're suspended." You didn't need. I didn't need opinions from everybody.
To be honest, I'd probably watch the Raw episode before I
I don't know.
Yeah, let's not go that far. At least,
That was longer.
At least you have the Stone Cold Triple H stuff, the Rock Foley stuff, minus the crap.
At least this was short.
At least it was short, but my God, yeah, like I said, the montage felt like an hour. It kept going and going and going and going. Thumbs down for this show.
We have not gotten off to a good start.
Yeah, we're not off to a good start with these TVs. I don't think ECW on Sci-Fi is going to get any better, or Impact, or yeah.
There is ECW on TNN, by the way, if you want to add that.
I mean, technically I counted the TNN stuff with ECW
technically we did.
TV.
Okay.
Yeah, because if we had spun 99 or 2000, we would have just done the TNN stuff. Yeah, I just consider that original run ECW and then separately the Sci-Fi stuff. So yeah, not good, not good.
We'll see. We'll see what happens next time we spin the wheel.
Next time we spin the wheel, we're slowly breaking it down. So it will be either ECW on Sci-Fi, Impact, Heat, or Velocity. That's our options left.
I mean, Heat or Velocity can't be like offensively bad. They're kind of just whatever shows.
Squashes, Velocity, you could at least get some good cruiserweight matches or something. You could get something good there. We could get lucky and spin one of the Benoit Regal 2 matches they had on Velocity. You could get lucky with that. I don't know. You could get some
try not to get a Sunday Night Heat that was a WrestleMania pre-show.
Oh, we'd have to spin again if we did that. That's 1 5-minute match at the end.
I mean, although I don't know. I feel like some of those had some decent matches. I think the one before WrestleMania 19 was okay. That match, I think it was the Dudleys and.
Maybe we'll spin the one where the Acolytes beat the shit out of the Public Enemy. That's always a fun match. That's one of the better squash matches of all time. Hey, that's a good debate question. What's the greatest squash match in history?
Is that
John Cena and Brock Lesnar?
Goldberg and La Parka?
Yeah.
Sid Vicious and the other and Dan Spike beating up that one guy in like 89. When he fucking lariats him out of his shoes, does a standing lariat. That one's fun. Goldberg and Kwee-Wee, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Goldberg versus everybody.
Rock's debut, maybe.
Yeah.
There was I think like if you want a more modern one, like a few years ago, I think it was also Payne versus these 2 twins, and just fucking one powerbomb run on the other, literally the powerbomb on one of the other dude's face. Like it was like, oh, holy shit, that was fucking great.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was a great squash.
Kevin Owens and what's his name from NXT? His debut.
CJ Parker.
Yeah, that was. Just because I think it introduced Kevin Owens to a new audience and really well, but we're not. That is an interesting topic, though. We'll have to maybe circle back to that.
Yeah.
But all right. It's predictions time again. JPO, you got graphics.
Yeah, I saved the same doc as the release people. Hold on, let me find them.
So yeah, WrestleDream from Seattle, Washington,
which Jacob's not going to.
Weekend.
Jesus.
So
why?
Did I had these plans before WrestleDream was even announced.
Are you going to the Dynamite before it?
Also, no.
After it? Okay.
Well, because Dynamite was yesterday.
Yeah.
No, and Dynamite. I wish they would announce this sooner because Dynamite's in Portland on Wednesday. If they announce it sooner, like maybe, but it's like whatever. First match, we've got Swerve Strickland minus Hit Row and Hangman Adam Page. Just start at the bottom. Jordan, who you got in this one?
This is a good one. This actually was your go home segment on Dynamite. Was their contract signing, which I don't think happens often for us. Just kind of a singles match. But I want Swerve to pick up the win here, man. I'm going to follow my heart. So Swerve.
All right, Richie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really liking Swerve at the moment. I like, I've always been a fan. He's really good on the microphone, really good wrestler, and yeah, I'm glad he's getting a good push. And yeah, I'm liking the story. So yeah, I'm gonna look. I think Hangman's at that point where he doesn't need the win. Although, I guess that's the story they're telling. But I think
Battle Royal too.
Yeah, I think Swerve, could be elevated, and I could see Swerve winning the main title in the next couple of years. So I'll go Swerve.
All right, Austin.
Let's do the na-na dance for Swerve.
I was looking forward to that on Dynamite, and then Swerve cut him off. I was like,
no, I think they're pushing Swerve right now, and I can see Swerve. Yeah, this match really pushing him into the a really top contender spot. I think the crowd's into him. They're into the Nana stuff. Like they've really pushed it. He's a great worker, and I think maybe it's his time to get a run, kind of in the main event scene. So and Hangman, I mean, he's been real spotty on TV anyways before, like a month ago, and as opposed to, I think Swerve, they've been doing the slow build. So I think he gets a win on a guy like Adam Page and boost him up a little bit. So yeah, I'll take Swerve.
Yeah, I have decided tonight I'm just going to go with my gut, and I'm not going to try to talk myself into changing my mind. I'm going with Swerve, and I'm sticking with it. What's the next match? JPO, are you there? JPO, you're in charge of that. Oh, there we go. AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line. FTR, your champs, defending against Aussie Open. This is one of the reasons I wish I could be there, but next time. Richie, who do you got in this one?
This is probably one of the most difficult ones to actually predict, to be honest. Aussie, like when we get to the that whole year-end show of like the best tag teams, I think these will be almost number 1 and 2, in my opinion. So yeah, well maybe you probably include a bit of the New Baby in there if you wanted to, but this is really tough because I could see Aussie Open winning, and they're really behind Aussie Open. They're really good, and I want to because it's Australian. I'll do it. I'll go Aussie Open.
All right. Austin?
I just figured I should make my chart now for while we're watching it. So that's what I'm doing. Of everybody's predictions, I circle them, whoever it is, and it's easier to count them up. So everybody pretty much took Swerve, right? Yeah.
Okay. That was a clean sweep.
All right. I'll take FTR here. I think they're just having too many good matches with just about everybody. They're the more grounded team, and I think Aussie Open is decent, but I don't know if I'm ready to lock them down as like the tag team champions yet. So I'll stick with FTR.
Yeah, Aussie Open, and they just lose the tag team titles, and now we're going to put another one on them. I don't know about that. FTR. JPO.
I definitely don't mind if Aussie takes it. I think they're great. But I don't know. Something about it just says we're not done with FTR yet. This is not the team at this particular moment, so FTR.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all chose the Young Bucks to win the titles in the last show, and then that didn't happen. So maybe they're not done with FTR. But what's the next match? All right, so we got Jericho, Omega, and Ibushi. That's an interesting team. Going up against what is this? The Callis family.
Yeah, Callis.
They're calling them. Yeah, Sammy Guevara, Will Ospreay, and Takeshita. Austin, who you got in this one?
It's interesting. I think my only logic is Takeshita got the win at Wembley, and then he also won the rematch, or the singles match, the last show. So I think it's due for Kenny and company to kind of get one back. I mean, he doesn't have to take out Takeshita. I mean, he can get a flash win on somebody else, but to set up, possibly Omega and Ospreay again at the, Wrestle Kingdom show. So I'll take the Jericho Omega team, whatever you want to call them, Team Jericho.
Jericho. I'll just type it on. So I hear what you're saying, but I don't think I think the finish is going to be Guevara pinning Jericho. I think that's the finish, and I think we can still set up, Omega Takeshita or Omega Ospreay 3 or whatever. But I think Guevara gets the pin over Jericho, this newly formed team. I don't think they're out. Jericho, Omega, Ibushi, they're not teaming up again. I'm pretty sure. But these three, maybe they're gonna stick around for a while. So I'm gonna go with the Callis family, Jordan.
Yeah, this one's hard because you guys both just made the argument I'm flip flopping between. You know what I mean? You got kind of this newly formed family. Sammy just turned, but at the same time, I think you look at it like, okay, Ospreay got over Jericho, at the big show. Takesha's kind of been over Omega the last couple of shows. I think Ibushi also might need kind of a big win if we're trying to sell him as a star. So I'm gonna go Team Omega here.
Okay.
Richie?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with maybe I'm gonna split it here. I'm gonna go with the logic that I think that the Callis family's a new faction. You kind of want them to kind of be seen as a dominant threat, and maybe eventually go for like the a 6-man championship, whether that be AEW or Ring of Honor. So yeah, I think I think that they would want to keep building them up, and I don't think like the feud between everyone's over. I could see Sammy pinning Jericho. So yeah, I'll go the Callis fam.
Yeah, I still think it's weird that Jericho's turned face and Guevara's a heel still, because I thought it should have been flip flopped. But
they did this whole turn ass backwards. Like they really did. Like Jericho was ready to go and agree with the be with Don. Like, and then it was just because Don was like, "Oh shit, you said yes," because I was totally about to fuck you over. So, like, I'm supposed to cheer for Jericho, who was ready to go evil. Huh?
That's the other thing. Is like I don't trust this Jericho Omega Ibushi team. I don't think they're gonna work well together. I think we'll see like some dissension there, where I think the other team might gel. We'll see. Still two fairly new teams, trios, but
well, I did that, especially the first trio is not necessarily a trio just for the show.
Right, it's just for the show.
Enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right. So all right, split there. What's the next match? Boop. TNT champion Christian Cage defending against Darby Allin in a 2 out of 3 falls. You know what? The last time Darby Allin fought for the TNT title in Seattle, he won, and I think he's going to go 2 for 2. Do we want a tiebreaker to be? Do we all think it's going to go 2-1, or do we think is there a chance it could go 2-0?
I think most of the time 2-0.
Maybe Luchasaurus turns on him.
I think most of the time 2-0-3 falls goes 3 falls, so it goes 2.
Usually, I think there's a rare case. There's been rare cases where it has. I've seen a couple end 2-0, but
I think
I'm going Darby.
Okay.
And even though Christian Cage just won it 6 days ago, and not in his eyes, he's been champion for 3 months.
He's been champion for a few months,
JPO, who do you got?
So my cat agrees with you,
but you don't.
I don't, and because I agree with what you said, Darby, Seattle. Christian is a fucking heat magnet. And I think Christian defeating good old Darby in his home place adds to the beautiful heat. And I want to eat up that heat. So I'm going to go with Christian. Retains it, like you said. At least on paper, he just had it. +2, I'm going to say it's an even 1-1. And then Darby's about to hit a coffin drop. Lights go out. On this day, I see clearly, and his friend Adam Copeland comes on. I don't know, but Christian Cage, I still will say wins this match.
All right, Richie.
I by the way, just a side thing. The latest Botchamania, that song Manamana. There's someone did it. Someone did it. We're going, your father's dead. Da, 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 da. Your father's dead. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Your father. Oh, that's so kind of funny. But yeah, I think we're not done with. Christian's been one of the most entertaining people on the show. I think his heel works great. I think we continue that, and I'll say Christian beats Darby Allin here. Even though I know TNT is a hot potato championship, but yeah. I'll say Christian.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah, this is a little tougher because it's like it depends on if we get the Lucha swerve or not. I don't know. But last time we all thought somebody was going to turn on somebody, it didn't happen with the MJF Adam Cole thing. So I feel like when everybody predicts that, it doesn't happen. So I don't know. I kind of feel like everybody's into this Christian gimmick right now with the title and him just finding ways to shit on people's dads. I think people are just enjoying it. So I'll stick with Christian. Yeah.
Don't let him touch -1. JPO, what's the next match?
It is doing this with one hand. Fuck.
The suspense is killing me. The new ROH World Champion and current New Japan Strong Openweight Champion. What's he defending? Both of them against
both titles.
And against the pure champion. Oh, there's just a lot of gold in this match.
Belts.
But only Eddie Kingston.
Too many belts. Too many belts.
So yeah, Kingston versus Shibata. Jordan, who do you got?
Back to me. Yeah, kind of using both logic of Eddie's worked so hard to kind of get some major titles here. I don't see we're gonna rip it off him. He just got that world title, the Ring of Honor title. And also too, kind of using the simple logic of like AEW can't totally dictate what New Japan does. So if there's no plans on like necessarily promoting Shibata to that level, why do it? And Shibata's already got that. I don't think we're gonna randomly crown this guy who's not even really on AEW television with 3 major belts. That doesn't add up to me. So, and yeah, Eddie needs a nice big pay-per-view singles win. Let's do it.
Yeah. Richie?
Yeah, I think they're just doing it because Shibata's got a name, and obviously Eddie Kingston has really good big respect for Shibata. But yeah, I don't. It'd be silly for Eddie Kingston to lose this early. I think this is one of the more easy ones to predict. Eddie Kingston for sure.
Austin.
My prediction for this match is a lot of slapping of man meat. And Eddie also retains.
Same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is if we were doing confidence points, this is like lock of the night.
Yeah, one of the more easy ones.
So, JPO, what's that next match? All right, TBS Championship defended on pay-per-view. Chris Statlander, Julia Hart, Richie. Who do you got?
No lie, you know what? No lie. I don't mind how they've built this up. I usually criticize the women's booking, but I don't mind how because Julia Hart's been on a streak. The last person she's lost to, quite a while ago now, was Chris Statlander. So I like the way they've told the story. So they've actually put some effort into it. And Julia Hart's not the best worker, but I think she's getting over her character, and she's getting over the threat. That being said, I think it's too early for Chris Statlander to lose. So I got Chris Statlander, but so it's a good it's sort of a good opportunity for Julia Hart, and I like her gimmick. So but yeah, Chris Statlander.
All right, awesome.
Chris, not much to say. Yeah, she just got it not long ago. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Chris too. I mean, there's not really much to compare the reigns to because there's only like one other reign. So it's hard to tell what they want to do with the belt. Do they want to give it lengthy reigns? Because it's been like 100. It's been a few months, but yeah, I don't think she's done with it. So I'm going Chris as well. JPO. JPO. If you're talking, you're muted.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, sorry. I love my cat, but he's fucking up my mouse clickings. He wants to get petted. I'm gonna easily clean sweep this with Chris as well. Julia, it's been kind of a quick build, like in the last on television. So this is a good test to see. All right, this is the biggest shot Julia's had. Probably gonna be one of the longer matches she's had because I feel like even her TV matches haven't been all that long. So let's give her a shot, see how she does for future reference. But I don't see her taking the title this time. Absolutely not. I don't think so, Chris.
All right. Clean sweep there. What's the next match?
Also on the docket, we got 7 and 10 coming up 4-way tag.
Winner gets AEW tag title shot anytime. So is this their tag team Money in the Bank? Whatever.
I don't think they mean anytime like that, but yeah.
I mean, it says anytime. So, but
let's just get an inflatable ring like they did with that, ladder match one time.
So we got the Young Bucks, the Guns, Orange Cassidy and Hook, and the Lucha Bros. Austin, who you got in this one?
What a weird match.
It is.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are going to predict Orange Cassidy and Hook just because it's the one oddball one that just got thrown together. But at the same time, it's like that just got thrown together. So I don't know. Are we going to throw them into a title shot thing that early? I thought Orange Cassidy was kind of taking a break, but I guess not.
No, he said in his promo, I'm not taking a break.
Cool. I'm going to take the match I want to see, so maybe that'll screw it up. I'll take the Lucha Bros.
All right. I'll take Orange Cassidy and Hook because I do want to see that. GPO.
This to me is actually maybe the toughest match of the night in the weird way as far as prediction, because kind of announces this week here. Again, you kind of think long-term booking. If we all kind of agree, we think FTR is walking out with it. Because I mean, if it was Aussie Open, then I think it might be like the Bucks or the Lucha Bros. But if it's FTR, I don't see the Guns getting that big of a win. Ray's got a title, the Bucks got a title. I'm gonna go with Orange and Hook. I think that's the most unique matchup you can do with FTR, and I don't think necessarily is going to be on a pay-per-view. But if they're doing a pay-per-view, maybe in this is October and a November, December one. It's a unique match, I suppose.
And it's looking more and more likely they'll probably do a pay-per-view each monch next year. So they'll probably see more weird matches like this.
Well, that's fine if it's included in my Max subscription and I don't have to pay extra for it. I'm fine.
That's what we're afraid of, is that it's not going to be.
Yeah.
Apparently, what I read, it's looking more likely that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
This is going to be a case of long-term booking where Orange Cassidy and Hook do win, and Orange Cassidy just forgets that they have a tag team title shot, and like 8 months down the line, they're like, "Remember that tag team title match we were supposed to get?
Oh yeah,
you want to do that?
I don't mind that. That'd be funny."
But Richie, who you got?
I can see Orange Cassidy and Hook. He had Orange had a good win against Matt Jackson, Austin Gunn, and Penta. But I was like, but I'm so used to WWE booking that.
Is the lady coming at 2?
She's still I've messaged her.
Right?
I've messaged her. Hang on. Yeah.
Is she coming at 2?
Hang on.
buddy.
I did. Yeah. I think so. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm got with WWE logic where I'm like, Orange won last week, so they're not winning the pay-per-view, but it's AEW, so it's not necessarily. So, but I'm tuned into Vince booking. That being said, I don't know, maybe just because I'm just be different, but they let me down last time, but I'll go Young Bucks. All
right. So, the Guns not getting any love.
Sorry, ass boys.
Watch them be the winners now.
Probably.
What's the next match? Ricky Starks and Wheeler Yuta.
Classic AEW booking too, by the way. These two, no problem at all. One backstage promo, you're got a match. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
My gut's saying Ricky Starks. I'm taking Ricky Starks. Wheeler seems to lose a lot, and that seems to be okay. JPO.
Yeah, all signs to me, this would be one of my higher confidence ones in Ricky. They're pushing him, even though he's kind of lost his bigger profile matches with Danielson. He's still in matches with Danielson, while Wheeler kind of right now is, a lesser member of the BCC. So, as far as wins and everything, so yeah, Ricky Starks.
All right, Richie.
Yeah, I think it was just I don't know. Like if you're going, it was just a way to kind of keep I don't know. It's a weird match. I thought that they just sort of had this in the mat just to get them both on the show, I guess. But yeah, I think they're pushing Ricky Starks more with Yuta. So yeah, the same logic.
I mean, they only had 9 matches. You got to have 10.
Yeah, so I'll go Ricky Starks because they're pushing him over Wheeler Yuta at this point. So yes.
Yeah, Starks. He needs a win after having several near-death experiences with Bryan Danielson.
All right, so it's a clean sweep there for Ricky. What's the next match?
So this is I didn't see a graphic, so I just saved this. This is, I guess, now a handicap match of MJF defending against the Righteous and Vincent and Dutch.
All right, JPO, you're up first.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah,
Pulling
there
a
is.
Ross tonight. If you ever watch tournament. Yeah, this match has become even odder now that Adam Cole's out of it. I'm gonna say MJF retains. I think the Righteous is too random and too quick, and every time I think MJF's gonna lose these tag titles, he doesn't. So now that I say he won't, he probably will. But no, I said because again, you could easily have like Roddy screw him, but I'm gonna say he retains somehow.
All right, Richie.
See, I totally believe the reports that Adam Cole's injury is legit. However, that there is this caveat that, maybe because when I'm talking about, there was a segment right after the last segment where somebody in MJF mask attacked Jay White with a whole bunch of people, and there was this theory, oh, maybe it's Adam Cole, or maybe he's setting him up for a handicap match. I feel like it might end up being like Roddy Strong or somebody, or maybe Edge. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Edge seems like a long shot.
On the stage.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think Righteous does seem random at this point. I do wonder where Stu Grayson is.
Yeah, he was with the group on Ring of Honor, but yeah.
But yeah, I'll go Righteous just to be different.
Righteous. Awesome.
I'll say Righteous because I still don't like MJF and Cole having the Ring of Honor tag titles in the damn first place. Especially now that Adam Cole's hurt. I think just get it onto an actual tag team at this point, and let's elevate somebody. MJF is already the world champion. He doesn't need this fucking ridiculous title. Not that the title's ridiculous, but he doesn't need this title to help him. Get it off him. So I'll take Righteous.
Yeah.
I will say I don't like the fact that we are 2 pay-per-views in a row.
Yeah.
And our world champ is in a fucking media match.
That's what I'm saying. What are we doing here? Yeah.
Stop that.
And potentially, apparently, this might be the main event.
What?
No, it's not.
No,
Richie, I guarantee my left ball sack it's not.
This was going to be apparently this was going to be maybe the main event if Adam Cole wasn't in there, because they had.
I don't believe that either.
I don't believe that for a second. I'm 100% confident that Bryan Danielson in the state of Washington is going to main event this pay-per-view.
That's why that was the first match announced for the show.
Yeah.
It's main event.
Yes.
I'm just saying, I don't think Dutch and Vincent were main eventing.
Yeah.
And I like Dutch, by the way.
I like Vincent too, but
I'm also going to go with the Righteous, but I think it's not, clean. I think someone interferes, and MJF still looks strong.
Yeah.
So, and then finally, you can pull up the graphic for Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. Richie, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, match was supposed to get a Forbidden Door. Yeah, and I think that would have been harder to predict, but I think because obviously I predict the Christian to go over Darby Allin because of the Seattle thing, but that's because of a heelish thing. I don't think a heelish thing is going to happen here. I think they're going to have a really good match, but I think Bryan Danielson's on this kick now because he's winding up his career that he's just going to wrestle matches that he's always wanted. We'll get into it, but it makes me. I still think I still think Nigel McGuinness might be coming out of retirement to face Bryan Danielson. It just and he's become too anti-Danielson to kind of that might be leading. It might be leading somewhere. But yeah, I'll go Bryan Danielson, but it'll be really good. But yeah, so yeah, Bryan Danielson.
Austin.
Yeah, I think unlike WWE, Tony Khan doesn't mind putting hometown heroes over in their hometown or their home state or whatever. You know, he's not always dead set on screwing people over and humiliating them in their home place. Yeah, Darby, I think can be the one that does lose on earlier on the show, and like you can still have Brian go over in this one and still be fine. Yeah, I think Brian takes this one. He's getting these good wins, yeah, before he kind of. I mean, I think he's getting more prone to injury, and he's even said that. So, he's going to start winding down pretty soon. But yeah, he wants to get a couple of these matches in before he retires, and I think he'll get a win here. Zach's still got a long career to go. He'll be okay.
Yeah, it's Bryan Danielson in the state of Washington. He's winning. JPO?
Yeah, clean sweep. Plus also the fact of seriously the logic of the guy that's actually on the AEW roster is going to win the match. I mean, I'm sad that they haven't really built up Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, God forbid you don't know who he is. They really haven't done, I think, a good job of establishing why this is a dream match for those that do know. I thought he should have been on TV fucking racking up wins in these last couple months, but they didn't do that. But still, it's gonna be a good match. I think it is kind of an automated event just based on that fact. But yeah, I'm all for the fact that Danielson will walk away. Plus, also a little bit of a gimme the fact that Sabre's not defending the title. A good reason to also think that, like, oh, well, then Danielson's going to win because they can just, he's not going to win that title randomly.
Right, yeah.
Do you think there's something to Nigel McGuinness coming back? Because he's been so, like, I think so. He's been so animated that I think that there's been some points where I think he's going to stay in the ring.
I 100% think, what is it? So it was August. He'll wrestle at Wembley next year.
Yeah, against Danielson.
I think it's gonna be more of a tag or something. I don't know. I don't know if in 2024, right? Yeah, if Nigel can have the kind of match that I think he knows people would anticipate, from like 2005 Ring of Honor. So I don't know. Yeah. I could see a good like 6-man tag he'll be in or something, but I don't know.
It's just that it's just occurred to me that he's so like like obviously heel commentators are anti people, but he's like so animated in the sense that I was expecting it, and at some point to like drop his headset and rush the ring, that kind of So you never know. But yeah.
No, I think it's definitely possible. Like he even posted a photo of like I think it's like an AI photo of like him in gear.
Yeah.
All right. One last thing. Got to get our tiebreaker.
I was gonna say, did everybody took Brian on that last one, right?
Yeah.
Let's wait for Dan Bryan.
I would say, we've got some where everybody's calling the same one. Got a few different ones here and there. So, but yeah, we could use a tiebreaker or two.
Yeah, our one tiebreaker. Yeah. We'll predict the opening match. I'm taking Kingston Shibata as the opener.
Okay. Let me write that down. Kingston. Okay. We going in order or just whatever?
Yeah, we can go in order. Austin, what are you taking as the?
I'll say you start out a little hot with some big stars. I'll take the 4-way tag match thing.
JPO.
Swerve and Page.
That was my other choice. So, but now I hope it's not it. And sorry, Richie.
Yeah, I was going to go the 4 tag match, but I'll be different. I'll go the Callis family versus Jericho, Omega, and Ibushi.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. I think all 4 of these have
possibles.
Yeah.
Open,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll see what happens Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah. After the Jags play at 9:30 in the morning.
After I see the creator, and then eat probably some pizza on screen with JPO. Yeah, no, we'll do our little watch along. It'll be fun.
Pizza.
Yeah, I'll pass them through the screen for you, JPO.
Wait, what kind of pizza do you get?
There's a place called Marco's nearby. I get Marco's.
Oh well, I don't know it's Marcos, but what do you get? Do you get cheese? Do you get sausage? What do you
Meat
do?
lovers,
Where'd you
man.
get
You
cheese?
know, meat.
Who gets a pizza without cheese?
I mean,
I
you
meant
can.
like, does he get just plain cheese? Is what I meant.
Oh, okay.
No,
I was like,
No,
do
you
you get
gotta
cheese
put-
on your pizza?
You
Or...
gotta put something on there. No.
I get plain cheese a lot.
Oh, okay. You're so plain.
I am.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know, guys know during the week if I can be on. It just depends on my schedule because I'll be in a different country, but I will be in my old house and with probably decent internet. It just depends on what I'm doing, what I have planned during the day. So, but I'll let you know.
Are you traveling alone?
No.
I don't even know why you're a part of this show anymore.
Look, I'm traveling. I'm traveling alone in my mind, in my heart.
Okay, that's better.
I don't know what I mean.
Yeah, so we know what Richie's got going on in the future. He will be traveling, so probably not much in the way of internet shows. But JPO's got like 2 whole channels, right?
I run 3 actually.
Oh, jeez. Well, what's going on over there on those in the coming week?
Yeah, man. Of course, I pop up on here from time to time. I'll be on the Movie Here Network next week as well. We got some fun stuff dropping over at Movie Battleground. Rankum. I would have done Rankum on Sunday, but we gotta watch AEW instead. I told Malcolm stop. I can't schedule me on Sundays when it's wrestling, baby. But yeah, for me, the Pure Sco, a lot of movie fun. We had Razzie's trivia tonight. Pez played that in that earlier. All about shitty movies.
I could have actually I could have signed up. I didn't sign up initially because I was like, oh, I'm not going to be available.
I wish you had. You
I
would
turned
have
out to be available.
We had 2 spots left open, and they went to Chris and Ryan.
The 2 people that sign up for everything.
Yeah. I'm gonna put out Pornhub trivia and see if they sign up.
All right, sign me up. Sounds good.
Resident 2, sweet. But besides Pornhub, you can also find me at Pierce Wrestling. We have some wrestling fun over there. We just crowned tag team champions in a match that's only on their Patreon. Shut up, Richie. Shut up. La. The crowned tag team champions in Rio de Janeiro. And then also Real Pro Wrestling. We just had our 4th annual Stand Up and Fight event, which is where all the proceeds go to the Whoa, what the fuck? Why are you laughing? I'm about to say something real serious.
No, look at the thing.
No, he didn't. Hey, yes, I did.
Sorry, I wasn't laughing at that.
We weren't laughing at suicide prevention charities.
I know. I'm literally about to say the word suicide prevention.
Bad timing.
And then she busted out laughing, and I'm like,
I mean,
what?
realistically, the charities for suicide prevention, why bother? You know? Yeah.
Guys, we're all going to hell here, the Lonely Marks. What do you got going on, Jacob Barber?
My flatmate's laughing. Anyway,
in the near future, I've got nothing. This next week is clear. I think I'll be back next week to hear you guys talk about WrestleDream, unless I can watch it beforehand. Unless you guys think this is a big enough show that we should go Monday. We can discuss that off screen though. But yeah, no. Yeah, well, Austin and I will be back not this Saturday, but next Saturday for a podcast about movies, where we will be finishing up our anniversary series with some 2010s. And then, yeah, other than that,
Then
I
we'll
don't
talk
really have
some more
much.
later in the month, baby.
Yeah, and then we'll get into
Yeah.
get into some Chucky, because it's a franchise that I have not watched that I will be watching for the first time.
Catch up. Season 3 premieres soon. I'm excited.
Yep, we're just talking movies though. We're not gonna get into the series or the.
But
or
you
the,
should though. I mean, I think if you see 10 films and you like it, and the series
No, I will
fun,
watch
I
it
would.
eventually.
Oh yeah, but just for this certain
this
episode,
podcast,
we're just gonna do the
Yeah.
70. Yeah.
Bride of Chucky is my favorite. What's Bride of Chucky?
Oh, we already talked about that, so we
Yeah.
got to jump on it. Yeah, we talked about that.
That's the one that I've seen.
Bride of Chucky, great. You watched a bit more.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but Richie, I know you're traveling, but do you have anything dropping in the next
No,
week?
I mean, you can see my match I filmed a while ago, the match with Chad that went up a few days ago. So check that out and debate on the Movie Battleground. Yeah, and then other than that, yeah, you can see pictures of my travels. If you're on my Facebook, you can, I might pop in here. Like, yeah, again, I might be on I might be on Lonely Marks. It just depends on. I'll let you know. But I might pop in here on trivia here and there. But yeah, I'm probably not going to be. We willing to sign up for like a tournament fight just because I don't know if I have like like multiple 2.5, 3 hours in me when I'm trying to go be on holiday. So
yeah, right.
but I might pop here on trivia and if I do, it'll be on PSCO and all the other Jordan channels that he wants me to promote. Otherwise, he'll be mad at me. And yeah, and look, and you can find me here accidentally laughing at suicide prevention because Jacob just times his joke. Anyway, cool.
And last but certainly not least, Austin, what do you got coming up in the next week?
Yeah, no, I've also got some Battleground stuff in the can. I think my match against Noah McCausland in the tournament should be dropping hopefully in the next 2 weeks or so. So I'm still hanging around that. There's a chance I could play JPO. There's a chance if the stars align. We'll see. Yeah. There's a chance. We've never faced each other before, so that could be fun.
First ever one-on-one match.
But we would have to each win our next matches, so we'll see. So we'll try. As far as media future, tomorrow night, Movie Hero Network, I'll be hosting Tournament Fight Westerns. I adjusted the list a little bit and added some stuff people have actually heard of. So I did that, and as opposed to the list Dan Allen originally sent me. Cowboy Pez might make an appearance tomorrow night. We'll
Cowboy Pez rides again.
Woo! So he might make an appearance tomorrow night. Maybe not for the whole show because I don't know if I can keep up that act for 2.5 hours.
Do it for 3 hours.
I'll try, but he might just pop in for like the speed round or something. We'll see.
The last 20 minutes of
the show. The last 20 minutes of the show.
All right, at least the last 20. All right, y'all know what to do. Y'all got to speed through this. All right, y'all ready?
I'll make you wait for that because otherwise I'll have to keep Dan in line with a straight face for most of the thing.
Be fast Michael Jackson and a half off boys pants kind of thing.
It already is a 5 macabre program. Let me tell you what. Woo! I'd rather you travel go to be on a show like that. No, I'm just kidding. I have 8 pages of nonsense words ready to go. So that'll be fun. But yeah, that's all I got going on. And 2007 tournament will be next week. So
yeah, let's go Sweeney Todd. So yeah, check all these people out and all their things. Go support them. Like this video, like this, subscribe to this channel. Share the videos if you like them. Also share your predictions if you want to. Maybe you're better than us,
baby.
Thank you. I was waiting. So yeah, no, this was a fun time talking wrestling with these 3
firings
and weird shows and hopefully a good show. But yeah, no. So catch us next week sometime. We'll figure it out the day off screen. But hit the bell so you're notified when we go live. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell your aunt, tell your uncle, tell that guy that lives next door, even though he looks at you.
He hasn't watched wrestling since Luthez. Tell him.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. If he knows who Terry Funk is, tell him. And also, I don't know if you guys know this.
Bad news.
It would be really weird if we did an ECW on Sci-Fi episode and Terry Funk somehow showed up on that one as well. That'd be very strange.
He's like Terry Funk and Jeff Jarrett. They would show up.